Hi everyone, welcome back to Scented Moments channel. I'm JOãO. In this video I want to talk about 10 more mass appealing oud fragrances. So my last video was about my favorite and what I consider to be 10 of the very best oud fragrances that you can find nowadays. This time I want to talk about oud, more westernized oud for beginners. So basically, if you want to start to dive into oud fragrances, I think these are the best alternatives for you before you jumped into the more funky, more challenging, more realistic, natural smelling oud. I think before that, maybe it's better for you to dive into more commercial, more mainstream oud fragrances. So with that being said, and of course, I highly doubt that any of these fragrances have real oud aside from one or other, because I have here 4 fragrances that are niche and they are the most challenging of the bunch. So maybe they have like a touch of real oud maybe, but the rest of them I really doubt it. I have here 4 designers, actually 5 designers, and also other 5 that are niche, but I'll not do this in a specific order. I will start to talk about the ones that are definitely most appealing, and then I will end this video with the fragrances that are the most challenging of these fragrances, of these 10 fragrances. So that being said, the first fragrance here that you should definitely try in the designer realm, it's from the house of Hugo Boss, and it is Hugo Boss Bottled Oud. I absolutely love this fragrance from Hugo Boss. This is affordable and it's appealing, and it's a fantastic entry oud fragrance. So this is one of the best, if not the best, Hugo Boss fragrance nowadays, because the Hugo Boss Intense Oud Parfum is discontinued. I have that one and I also absolutely love it, but this one is one that it's more available, especially in the online discounters. So I think that this nowadays is the best Hugo Boss out there. So this is basically apple cinnamon oud. This has the Hugo Boss DNA, adding a touch of oud. Fantastic scent. This definitely has a mysterious nuance. It's sensual, quite masculine actually, and the apple here, it's delicious. Absolutely love this fragrance, and you can find this in the online discounters for a very affordable price. I bought this actually for 30 euros, but this was like a couple of years ago already. But you can still find this one at Notino or other online discounters for 40 euros, 45 euros for a 100 ml bottle size like this. And actually nowadays you have a line of this fragrance. You have also oud saffron, and you have more fragrances like oud rose. I don't know if it's rose, but you have a couple of other flankers that are connected with this one. So Hugo Boss now has a line of their oud, of this oud DNA, but this is the one that I have and the one that I really love. I have yet to try the other ones like the saffron and the other ones that they have, but really recommend you to check out this one, Hugo Boss Bottled Oud. The next fragrance that I want to talk about, it's from the house of S.T.DUPONT, and it is Oud and Rose. Gorgeous looking bottle, and this is the best oud rose fragrance that you can buy nowadays. I bought this one. This is a 100 ml Eau de Parfum concentration. I bought this at Notino for 35 euros, and it's so good. I mean, the quality, it's amazing. Great scent, velvety, full-on red rose with a hint of oud. I mean, a bit spicy, and it's so powerful. It's quite pungent, can be a bit obnoxious in the opening, but it's fantastic. Fantastic scent. I mean, if you want to start into oud rose fragrances, check this one out from S.T.DUPONT. High quality scent for a very affordable price, very long lasting. I mean, it's great. This was a great blind buy, a great discovery. Oud and Rose from S.T.DUPONT. Next fragrance here is from the house of Gucci, and it is Gucci Intense Oud. Man, I absolutely love this one. This is probably my favorite mainstream oud, my favorite designer oud. It's definitely this one, Gucci Intense Oud. And actually it's the most expensive when comparing with Hugo Boss Bottled Oud or S.T.DUPONT Oud Rose. This is more expensive, but the quality, I think it's the best. So this is often compared with Nasomatto's Black Afgano, which I actually see. I see that it shares some resemblance. It's dark, it's smoky, it's balsamic. It's missing the more challenging nuances of Black Afgano. Black Afgano, it's more full, it's more powerful, it's more intense. This one, it's more elegant, and this feels a bit thinner than Black Afgano. But I absolutely love this one. That doesn't mean that it doesn't perform, because it performs. It lasts, at least for me, the entire day and evening. This is very powerful, but it's more elegant and more refined. So it's smoky, it's incensey, it's balsamic, and it has a hint of oud, which is to die for. Of course, I highly doubt that this has real oud in here, but it has that dark woodiness underneath. It's so elegant, so masculine, and so gentlemanly. It's amazing, high quality scent from the house of Gucci. It's this one, Gucci Intense Oud. Next fragrance that I have here is from the house of Bvlgari, and it is Bvlgari Man Black Orient. This one right here. I think that this is discontinued, but don't quote me on that. I have Bvlgari Man in Black. This is a flanker of Bvlgari Man in Black. Absolutely love that fragrance. This has that DNA with oud. Amazing. So you have the cardamom, you have the pepper, you have the rum, you have leather and oud. Amazing, amazing scent. And you also have rose in here. Amazing scent. This is to die for. It's dark, it's boozy, it's woodsy, it's amazing. Now I think that this is discontinued. If you can't find this one, check out Bvlgari's Oud Noir. I was in between that one or this one, but while Oud Noir, the oud, I mean, it's not that present. Here it's definitely more present. You can feel the resinous dark nuances, but in Oud Noir you feel more the black tea with rose. Nonetheless, it's a fantastic scent. This one is as well. This is boozy, it's spicy, it's leathery and woodsy. I mean, it's full on a dark masculine fragrance, very long lasting, and I highly advise you to check this fragrance out. And this has like a safe system of the spray. So this is the spray, the normal, like if you want to spray, and if you do like this, you are locking the spray. Interesting, but what really matters, it's a scent inside, and this fragrance is really amazing. And it's a fantastic starter in the more oriental dark fragrances. Bvlgari Black Orient. Amazing. The next fragrance that I'll mention, I mean, doesn't need any introduction. It's very well known. It's from the house of Tom Ford, from the Private Blend collection, Oud Wood. Oud Wood is probably the best and the most well-known mass appealing oud scent. Oud Wood, it was my favorite. It was my first, my first full bottle from the Private Blend collection of Tom Ford. Amazing. And I still love this one. I mean, I recognize that this is not, I mean, the most natural smelling, the most challenging oud scent, but it's still great. I mean, it's great. It's a bit balsamic. It's oud wood. It's very woodsy, oudy. It's amazing. It's a fantastic scent, very elegant, very refined, and I don't have any complaints in terms of performance. Nowadays you have a lot, hundreds of fragrances that are heavily inspired by this fragrance. Some of them are more intense than this one. This one sometimes feels thin. Doesn't mean that doesn't last. At least on my skin this really lasts and has a nice sillage. And it's very appealing. I already received good feedback while I was wearing this one. But yeah, nowadays you have so many options out there that are a bit more intense, are a bit thicker, but I still prefer Oud Wood from Tom Ford because it's the original. It's the fragrance that started this trend. And so if you want to dive into oud, check no more. Find a good deal. Don't buy this in the retail. Just buy this at a discounter because this is not worth like the high price tag of Tom Ford Private Blend in the retail market. So try to find this in the online discounters because it's so worth it, and especially if you want to dive into oud, just go for this one. It's Tom Ford Oud Wood. The next fragrance also, it's very well known and it has some similarities with Oud Wood from the house of Acqua di Parma, and it is oud. This one right here. This is the older bottle presentation. Nowadays it's all dark with yellow lettering. And didn't smell like the newer bottle, but I feel that it smells the same. This is very citrusy. It's unique in that perspective because it's very citrusy. It smells so good. It's so elegant. This is citrusy, it's leathery and woodsy. Again, not the most natural smelling oud, not at all, but I love the citruses in here. You have the bergamot, the orange that are blended with this dark leather with a hint of incense and oud. It's amazing. The oud here kind of reminds me of Oud Wood, but this is definitely a bit more intense and it's more complex because after all it has more notes going on in here. I really love this fragrance. And I think you can see how much I already wore this one, but I have this like for 3 or 4 years already. This was one of my first niche purchases. So yeah, I have this one for a very long time. I still love this one. And very elegant, very chic, very masculine, and I just feel like $1,000,000 when I'm wearing this. I still do feel like that. Maybe because I still have the image of this being one of my first niche fragrances, so maybe that has an influence, but I still feel that this fragrance is great if you want to dive into oud. This is a fantastic entry into oud fragrances, very complex. If you can't find a good deal in oud woods from Tom Ford, go with this one. Definitely more affordable and more liquid inside. This is a 100 ml, I think. Yeah, this is a 100 ml. You can still find 180 or 150. So for a better price than the 50 ml of Oud Wood. So it's on you. This has citrus, this has leather, this has oud, bit more complex, a bit more intense, and still very elegant. Absolutely love this one. It's Acqua di Parma Colonia Oud. Now let's dive into a bit more challenging oud fragrances. And I'm not saying by challenging that these oud fragrances are more funky, more spicy, not so wearable. It's just the scent DNA, it's a bit more odd. So the first two fragrances that I have here are from the house of Floris, and they are Leather Oud and honey oud. Now I really love this bottle presentation. Leather oud doesn't have any resemblance to Dior's leather oud from the private collection of Christian Dior. No, it's completely different. This doesn't have any animalic nuances. The leather here actually it's even more prominent. And this is so elegant. It's spicy, it has an aromatic facet with oud. Wow, it's so good. And it's definitely intense. That's why I feel that this might be a bit more challenging, because the leather and the oud here are more intense, but the spices, the aromatic nuances make this more gentlemanly, more masculine, more appealing. I love this one. This is so good. Again, this doesn't have any animalic nuances. This doesn't have any funkiness, anything of that. This is just more intense overall when comparing with the other fragrances that I just mentioned, but it's still very versatile, especially during the colder weather. Very elegant, very chic, and it's to die for. It's a fantastic leather oud fragrance, just like honey oud. Now this is often compared with Montal's honey oud. Montal is definitely a bit more challenging, and it's more scratchy, a bit more even synthetic. This is the perfect blend of honey and oud, quite unique in that regard. This has beeswax as well, but this is definitely more challenging than leather oud. Leather oud, it's like an even more upscale version of Acqua di Parma Colonia oud. Imagine like Acqua di Parma Colonia oud without the citruses, a bit more spicy, with a more natural oud. This is leather oud right here, and the leather also it's even a bit more present. So this is like an even upscale version of leather Acqua di Parma Colonia oud, but because, well, I don't have a great connection with the leather oud as I have with Acqua di Parma Colonia oud, that's why I slightly prefer this one. But it's mostly because of that, because I'm biased here. But in terms of scent alone, I think this is a bit of higher quality. About honey oud, this is definitely a bit more challenging because the honey here can come across a bit more animalic, but it's very slightly, very mild animalic nuance. This is definitely elegant. It's warm, it's cozy, not as cold or elegant as leather oud, for example. It's still elegant, not as elegant as leather oud, not as even masculine or gentlemanly as leather oud, but actually I prefer this one to leather oud. It is what it is, because I just love the uniqueness of this fragrance. It's very warm, it's gooey, woodsy, and it's great. Actually, I need to wear this one more often. I have these two fragrances for 2 or 3 years also. This was a partial, so I didn't wear the whole thing. It was already like here, more or less. I still wore it a lot, and this was brand new. I purchased this one brand new, so I wore this one a bit more. I love these two fragrances. These are highly underrated. If you're searching for a bit more unique oud fragrances that still have an appealing touch and they are elegant, check these two fragrances out. Sample them, because I think that these are very worth the money, especially in the online discounters. The next fragrance that I have here is from the house of Nasomatto, and this can be challenging, and maybe is the most challenging of the 10 fragrances here. It is, of course, Pardon. This is my favorite Nasomatto. Pardon is all about leather. It's all about oud and chocolate, dark chocolate. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. This is an extrait de parfum, only comes in 30 ml. It's all you need. I already have this one also for over 2 years. I already wore this one a lot, but still, you see, I mean, I don't overspray this one because this really lasts and performs, projects. So you really don't need to overspray this fragrance. Pardon, it's a bit more challenging, a bit more funky than the other ones. It's definitely the most intense fragrance of the bunch. This is that fragrance that you are tired of the more mainstream designer appealing ouds and you are starting to dive into more challenging, more realistic ouds. This is the one that you will start with. It's Pardon from Nasomatto. It's amazing. It's cozy because of the chocolate. It has a sensuality, perfect for date night. It's very alluring. I absolutely love this one. It's Pardon from Nasomatto. Another fragrance that it's very well known in the fragrance community, and I highly advise you to check this fragrance out. It's one of the most well-known fragrances from Nasomatto. And last but definitely not least, let's talk about a gourmand oud scent. Nasomatto can be considered also a gourmand because of the prominent dark chocolate, but here you have coffee and chocolatey patchouli. And I talked about this one briefly on my last video about oud fragrances, and this one is Oud Divin from Piguet. Piguet has a line of oud. It has oud, strictly oud, then you have oud délice and Oud Divin, this one. This is delicious. Espresso, chocolate patchouli with a hint of oud. Oh, it's so good. So good. And when I talked about this one, I was talking about Histoire de Parfum Edition Rare Fidelis, which shares the same notes. I mean, coffee, patchouli, oud. While in Histoire de Parfum, the oud is more prominent and the patchouli feels more earthy. The coffee smells like coffee beans. Here you have the coffee, it's like an espresso. You have the chocolate patchouli and oud. Like a westernized oud, but the end result, it's a delicious, creamy, chocolatey oud. So good. Delicious, and this is so underrated. This is so underrated. High quality scent, a high quality coffee scent right here. From Piguet, it's Oud Divin. If you want more of a gourmand oud scent, check this one out. And guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you try some of these fragrances if you want to dive in to oud fragrances. Tell me in the comments down below if you enjoyed this video. Hit the like button if you want to see more content like this. Subscribe to this channel to help this community grow. And for you who are always subscribed, who are always commenting, and you are already a subscriber of this channel, thank you so much for your ongoing support. See you in the next video. Take care, guys. Ciao.